everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Pixel Paul, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for pressing play as always, and welcome and thank you for joining me on another video of Project PS5. So if you watched the first Project PS5 video of mine, you'll know that this series of videos is all about me and my journey through my backlog of PlayStation 5 games, of which I've got a few to get through. And what I want to do is sort of chart the progress through those games and give you my opinion on them as I sort of go through that backlog, basically. So yeah, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, if you could drop a subscription, that would be great, and you'll be able to join me on the journey through Project PlayStation 5. So the first game of 2024, first game of Project PlayStation 5 has been finished, and it's the game that I had or have had for the longest in that backlog, and it is Call of Duty Vanguard. So released a couple of years ago. I picked this up in summer of last year, 2023. Picked it up for just £5, which was a bit of a bargain, brand new. And yeah, it's been sat in my backlog for a while, so I thought this will be the first one that I will tackle. So, my opinion of Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm going to play a little bit of footage of the game here, hopefully, and you'll be able to see that as I talk about the game. This won't be necessarily a review of the game, it's just personal opinion of the game, what I thought of it. And it's important to note as well that with this Call of Duty game, my opinion is just based primarily on the campaign. So I'm not that fussed about Call of Duty multiplayer. I know the whole sort of point of Call of Duty is the multiplayer and the zombies and and all that jazz. But for me, I quite like playing the campaigns in the Call of Duty games. That's all I'm really bothered about. So for this, yeah, I've just played through the Call of Duty Vanguard campaign mode, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not the longest game, so it didn't take that long to finish. I'm not someone who can play a game for hours and hours on end and just get to the end in a couple of days. I have a very sort of short window of time that I can actually play games, especially sort of the more possibly violent games. Maybe I have to wait till the kids have gone to bed. So yeah, I probably played like an hour a night maybe, or maybe a mission every night, and it took about a week. Probably the total time playing the campaign was about 6 to 7 hours maybe. But yeah, I really did enjoy it. I've been playing through some of the other Call of Duty games because I've not played them for a while. So I've been picking them up over the last year or so and playing through some of the campaigns. And they can be quite hit and miss. I think this one is relatively short compared to most of them. I think the only other one that was probably as long as that was Cold War, Black Ops Cold War. Again, sort of like 6 to 7 hours maybe. But for me, in my circumstances and the backlog that I'm trying to get through, that's not too bad. I'm bearing in mind that I did just pay the £5 for it. So, the game itself, the campaign. Yeah, I found it really quite a good, quite interesting. The storyline was quite gripping, quite good. If you've seen films like Inglourious Basterds or even a little bit of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, there was sort of, it reminded me a little bit of some of the storyline from those two films. So essentially you start set in World War II, you start off as a soldier within a small group of other allied soldiers coming from all different backgrounds and all different countries. So there's two British guys, there's a female Russian sniper, there's an Aussie, there's an American pilot. So they all come from different sort of backgrounds, and you start the game as part of that team, trying to infiltrate like a Nazi base. You don't know much about why you've been sent there, something about Operation Phoenix, but you don't actually know what you're going there for. It's just almost like a recon kind of mission. Again, it's important to know I'll try to avoid spoilers with the game, but to put the rest of the game into context, you need to sort of know the beginning almost, which is what you can see in the footage. This group get captured, and essentially the rest of the game and the missions in that campaign are played out through sort of flashbacks from each of the members of that team. So you will see how each of those team members sort of become part of the war, and Almost, there's a couple of missions where you see them, developing as soldiers, if you like, as well. So it's quite varied. It's quite a varied campaign. With jungle missions, there are missions set in sort of like a more desert kind of outback kind of territory. There's one flying mission set in the Battle of Midway. There's also a mission set within the invasion of Stalingrad, so sort of set in the cityscape. There's snowy sort of levels as well. So it's quite varied, and yeah, like I said, I quite enjoyed the storyline. There's also a good turn from Dominic Monaghan, who you may know from Lost and Lord of the Rings. He plays a Nazi interrogator, a Nazi officer, and he's very creepy in it, very good. But yeah, so the actual sort of performances, the storyline, really good, really enjoyed it. It kept me hooked, kept me gripped, wanted to know how it sort of finished in the end. And yeah, did enjoy the storyline. Presentationally, brilliant. Yeah, it's one of those games where it's so frenetic and the action is so sort of epic and big in scale that you kind of forget to take in what's actually happening around you. And certainly in the sort of slower missions or the build-up to missions, you can look around like the cityscapes and so much attention to detail within them, so much going on. You do expect that though, really, from the current gen games. So yeah, graphically, presentationally, yeah, absolutely spot on. Some of the later levels where the battles sort of scale up a bit. There's huge explosions, huge amounts of soldiers running around, and the action is it never stops. So yeah, presentationally, yeah, it's absolutely spot on. Great score, great music to it as well. The performances from the actors in there as well, and the voice acting, absolutely spot on. Couldn't fault that really. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it. Found it quite easy to get into. I think with the Call of Duty games, you know what you're getting into. The controls are fairly standard across all of the Call of Duty games, so it's just so easy to get straight into a Call of Duty game, and so no issues there. I know for some people the length of the campaign would be a major sort of 6 to 7 hours. It's not a huge amount of time, but like I said, you have to. From my perspective, I put it in the perspective of I paid £5 for it. If I had paid a lot more, sort of full price, and it was solely from the campaign, yeah, I would be disappointed, I think. So overall, yeah, I enjoyed it, and that is one of my I have like 4 or 5 maybe key things that I would think about once I finished the game. So did I enjoy it? Yes, I did enjoy it. It was brief, I know, but again, sort of my circumstances, a quick game to get through just like that and enjoy it. It was perfect, really. So yeah, I enjoyed the campaign for it. Did I get the value for the money? Well, for £5, yes. I think a week's worth of gaming. Certainly, yeah, I felt like I got value for money for it. But like I said, if you paid any more than that, possibly not. I think you would be feeling a little bit shortchanged, maybe. So currently, at the moment, I know it goes for, and this is the physical copy of it, about £15 in CEX. I think if you wanted a brand new copy of it, you're probably looking between £20 and £25 for it. Would I pay that much for it, having already now played it? No, I think ideally, if you are just looking to play the campaign, I think somewhere between £5 to £10 would, it's probably enough. Obviously, if you're going to play or intend to play the multiplayer or the zombies modes on it as well, then yeah, probably £15 would be a fair price for it. I don't know how the multiplayer and the zombies modes and what have you compares to the other Call of Duties, but yeah, probably if you're looking for the whole package, I would say probably £10 to £15 would be fair. Will I play it again? Given how long it is, potentially I could play it again. I could play through it again. I did enjoy the story mode. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever dabble in that, the multiplayer side of it. Would I play the campaign again? Possibly. It depends on if I had nothing else to play. I certainly don't think I'd be playing it again in the immediate future. I think it would be something I could maybe pick up and play in 5 or 6 years time maybe. But no plans to sort of immediately play through it again. And finally, for the collection sort of wise, will I be keeping it or will I sell it? So I have been collecting like the Call of Duty games. You can see most of them there for the last few sort of generations, and there's a few dotted around there, and then the Xbox collection. So in a way, I kind of want to keep it just to be part of that collection, but at the same time, having paid £5 for it, and CEX at the moment will give you a £10 voucher on it, so I double my money. I am tempted to probably sell it. I think I will put it in a trade-in pile in the not too distant future. So that is the first game of Project PlayStation 5 done. Call of Duty Vanguard. Have you played it? Let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy the campaign mode? Have you played the multiplayer part of it? Is it any good? How's it compared to the others? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, first game of 2024 ticked off. So as a quick update to Project PS5 as well, I know I still have the backlog and I am on to the next game and playing through that, but I have I have added to that backlog just recently. So the first game I picked up this week was Immortals, and it's still in the wrapper, so it's a bit shiny. Immortals of Avium. This isn't that old. It came out later last year, and I've noticed it having a few sort of price drops recently, but it dropped to just £5 on Amazon, and I think Asda in the UK also been selling this for £5. So at that price, I thought, let's give that a go and grab it, because I think this at the moment trades in at CEX for about £14, £16, something like that. I would imagine that will drop soon. But yeah, I've added that to the backlog. I may try and get that played soon as well, because if the value of it on trading is decent, I may try and trade that in. Depends on how good it is though. I don't know a huge amount about it. I know it's a first-person shooter but without guns. Possibly a bit like Ghostwire maybe, where you're using spells and that sort of thing. But yeah, it looks quite interesting. I will give that a go. And another one which I picked up recently, and I have been keeping an eye on this game because I really did I've been wanting to give it a try. Again, it's been sort of relatively cheap. Smith's toy stores in the UK have been selling this for, it was £17.99. I think after Christmas it dropped to £14.99. And I just happened to have a quick trip in the other day and noticed that they dropped it to £7.99. So I was really pleased that I'd waited. And it is Tchaya. Quite a cute little adventure on up, if you like, open world adventure. I do like to have a bit of a change of pace with some games sometimes, and this looks a lot of fun. I remember seeing it on a PlayStation showcase a year ago or so. And thought it just looked a bit different, so yeah, it grabbed my attention then, and I've always fancied playing it. But it's £7.99. I had to pick it up and add it to the backlog. When I'll play that one, I'm not quite sure at the moment, but Project PlayStation 5, we will get through them eventually. So that was the first kind of, my opinion, first game completed of Project PS5. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you can drop a subscription, and if you've liked the video, if you can drop a like, that would be amazing. And I will see you for the next one. Thanks everybody.